All right, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got a nice piece here. I've got the Reate Augustus, designed by Kirby Lambert, Canadian designer. Really, really nice piece overall. And we're gonna analyze this guy from visual point of view, auditory, and kinesthetic point of view. So we're gonna look basically how it looks, how it feels, and how it sounds. So let's get started. Visually, this piece, it's really attractive, I have to say. When it's closed, you can appreciate the bolster in titanium and the carbon fiber scale, which creates a nice contrast. Really interesting, in my opinion. It's on both sides, and you can see how really makes sense. It has a really, really nice balanced look, in my opinion. And the balance is, let's say, interrupted a little bit with these blue anodized screws. So this gives a little bit of an accent to the overall look, as well as the pivot color, which is anodized titanium on both sides. That's a really nice touch. They went the extra mile, I think, with this little detail here. Very nice detail here. Another aspect of the design, it's the logo placement. In this, from the presentation side, you see Reate is not actually well centered into this curve here, whereas on the back, Lambert is not 100% centered, but a little bit better placed. So that's just another little detail that I would probably do differently, but still, it's not disturbing or subtracting anything from the design. I really appreciate the lines right here and right here, because when you open the blade, you see that there's like this area here which serves to lock the blade, to stop the blade in place, to go further back, making contact with the stop pin, which it's hidden. See? So it comes out here and then comes back and it's hidden again. So the overall profile up here is very nice. It makes sense to me. I really appreciate this divot here. We're going to talk about a little bit later about that. And I really appreciate the floating back spacer, which gives a solid construction, and with these washers here, confers a nice look and a little accent of color in the back, which I appreciate. When you open the blade, knife reveals in its beauty, I think, because the complex grind they put on this blade, it's really attractive. There's a nice hollow grind, beautiful slicer. There's a recurve here. The tip is reinforced because they ground like up to this point, so it gets a little bit thicker here, but still pretty thin and slicey. So I really appreciate this wedge here, because overall it gives a really aggressive look, but at the same time it's classy because of the titanium bolster, the carbon fiber scale. I think it balances out this aggressive look of the compound grind. And also you can notice the reflection of on the blade, because the ground was done in this direction here, and in the flats was done in another direction. So this gives a little contrast on the blade, which, sorry, my fingerprints, but gives a beautiful, beautiful look, and has a nice style overall. So the lines on this blade are really mixed. I mean, it's not like all around smooth. There's some sharp, let's say sharp, not really sharp, but a little bit sharp edges here. Flipper tab, absolutely. And then here, you see? And then here smooth, it's smooth all the way down to here, and to, you know, to become sharp again here. So basically the blade has some, you know, a little bit sharp corners, but nothing, you know, that's gonna hurt your fingers, but it's not as smooth as the handle. So another little contrast, very interesting, I think. But overall it's balanced. So there you have it. This is the visual analysis of this Reate flipper. Let's hear some sounds. Let's hear some noise now. And let's open this guy up. So here you go. So that's the opening sound. Okay, and we can break down, since this is a flipper, we can break down the action in 3 steps. The first would be when the detent ball breaks the lock. See? That's the sound it makes. So it's a subtle click, which lets you know that the detent ball has left the detent hole on the blade. And then when you deploy the blade, this is the sound it makes. I'm not sure if you can appreciate this, the noise, but it's very, very silent, almost completely silent. The bearings are doing just very minimal noise. And since this blade has a detent ball ramp, here you go, you don't hear the passage. You see, it's very smooth. When the ball exits, let's say exits the blade, there's no noise. And you only have the noise when the blade locks up. So overall, a solid lock-up noise, and the clicking sound when it closes, it's very, very delicate. Breaking the detent ball, locking in place, disengaging the lock, and closing. So overall, the flipping noise is this one. Really solid action, really solid thunk when the lock is in place. Very, very good. We can now appreciate the kinesthetic aspect of this blade. So how it feels. The ergonomics of the handle are just phenomenal. You can see how it's just fallen into my hand, and when you just squeeze the handle, there's no hot spots. Absolutely. They did an amazing job with the pocket clip. It's pretty well designed, and there's no way this is gonna hurt even when you squeeze it really strong. I think there's a couple of handling position. One is like a little bit recessed like this when you use the jimping here, and you can cut like this, or you just move your hand a little bit up top and you can use this divot here to do some more precision work, because there's not really like a finger choil here, it's just a sharpening choil. So you can't really use this area here, but just you have to keep your hand like that. So overall, ergonomically, I would say superb. One only gripe that I have in this one is the flipper tab, which is a little bit sharp after prolonged use. So you can both like light switch or push button to open and flip open the knife. Both methods are going to hurt your finger after a while because of the jimping here and these two sharp corners. So I prefer to do a push button, to use a push button opening mechanism rather than the light switch, because it hurts less. Another hot spot when opening the blade is created, it's here on this corner, because it's just gonna dig a little bit in the palm of your hand, because you wanna have some pressure, right, from here downwards, and the blade and the handle is gonna dig a little bit in the palm of your hand. Nothing serious, but something to consider about the feeling that you have when handling this knife. Something that I really love about this one is the feedback when deploying the blade. So this is beautiful. This is what I'm talking about. So when this blade deploys open, boom, you can see and you can feel and see that there's like a force here wanting the blade to move a little bit. So you have a feedback in your hand, which is astounding. I really love that. So that's beautiful to me, as well as the fit and finish. Reate is doing a great job. Something that it might sound silly, but something that I really love to do is just rub my finger here, because it's seamless. It's completely flush. There's no way, if you're blindfolded, you're gonna notice that there's like a line here. So it's so pleasant to the touch that is tough to describe. You have to handle this one and feel it for yourself to understand what I'm talking about. And lastly, one thing that I really appreciate about this one is the action, the opening action and the closing action. So basically, this one just free falls. Not here, because you have a detent ball ramp that needs to be surpassed, like right about this point, and the blade from here just falls shut. You see? Beautiful. So this is really a plus on this blade. Closing action, just superb. Fidget factor, astounding. You can spend hours playing with this guy. See, just a little wiggle and boom, falls shut. So yeah, this is my take on this blade, the Reate Augustus, designed by Kirby Lambert. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video and stay tuned.